And we back with a fussing on the radio edition of the Doing All Right podcast. Brian Broaddus is, making his rounds here. It's at the end of the draft season, our draft cycle or whatnot, and there's bound to be arguments. It's almost over. Draft gonna happen next Thursday, and all these
week from today, right?
Yeah, a week from today, and all these conversations kind of go away, and we focus on the players that the Cowboys actually draft. I just want to jump out in front of it and say, you kind of making the rounds on the socials and the radios, and there's a lot of conversation around it. Sean from 105.
Sean Sharif, yeah.
Sean Sharif. He made an interesting point this morning. He said, and look, our editors in the back, they do great work, but it's like when I say people name, they make sure to put the mess in the clips. It was because Marcus Mosier, David Heldman, those name dropping made the clips.
Sure.
And me and Marcus and Dave corresponded on the internet, but I come from this. We fuss. We're not strangers to fights or anything like that.
Just as they say, it's just business.
It's just business. We just talking.
Business, yeah.
Sean Sharif said something this morning that I thought was fascinating. Sean said what he wanted. First of all, he shouted you out. Ton of respect for Brian Broaddus because he goes against trends. If everybody says something and you think something different, then you will go against it. Sure. That is true. I'm the same. He said he wished that Dane Brugler would come out with a fake ranking, a fake mock draft. He said this morning. Sean said this morning. He said he wished Dane would come out with a fake mock just to see if people would just sheepishly follow it.
Sure.
How many people would just agree with it, right? Mm-hmm. Sean Sharif don't know me that well. I've ran into him once or twice. Yeah. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, Sean Sharif. Yeah. Me and Broaddus have these conversations all the time. How many times have we come on platforms? It wasn't in this studio before, but it was the Lombardi back then. Yeah. I saw Dane say, "Oh, Nick Scordon, the sixth best player in the draft," and me and Broaddus then come to the table and go, "I don't know, man. Shamar Stewart last year. I don't know. A little too soon for me. Malachi Stark was like the third best player on the board, right? On Dane's board. I was like, Broaddus, I got a 2 on him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're not strangers to that, and we're not doing it to be sensational. No. We're not doing it to be shock jocks or anything like that. It's just how we feel. Mm-hmm. And strangely enough, the more the process goes on, it kind of falls that way. The boards always end up evolving in that way. Voch says this, some 2026 draft classes examples of that. Peter Woods used to be real high on these boards. Mm-hmm. Caleb Banks used to be real high on these boards. Yo, Brian Broaddus, Doing All Right podcast. I don't know about, Peter Woods is cool. I don't know if he's the third best player. I don't know if he's a top 5 player in this draft, Brian. We have these conversations all the time. So to this point, I know there's people on the radio or people that listen to the radio that follow different platforms. Maybe not the people that listen to us every day, because if they listen to us every day, they would know. But I do think there are people that, Brian's just trying to be different. Nah, you just see what you see in a player. Yeah. So when you say Sonny Styles got a 2 on him, and y'all can go find the Sonny Styles episode, the internet is forever. Or if you just follow my damn board since the day that I drop it, Sonny Styles is linebacker 2 behind Reese. Reese is my first round linebacker. Styles is my second round linebacker. I thought Reese brought more value as a pass rusher, and that bumps his linebacker grade up a little bit. I kind of thought Styles had issues dealing with blockers every now and then. He would be a little slow when it's kind of misdirecting him a little bit. He's cool, good in coverage. Good going backwards, but some of the forward stuff wasn't as good. Reese is better going forward because he got pass rush background. You know what I'm saying? So he deals with linemen and bigger players all the time. I got Reese a little higher. I also have in my mind that, Styles ain't like, he's not like Luke Kuechly or nothing like that. Right. And if you're not rushing the passer, I need you to be super linebacker guy. He's not, Bobby Wagner. I don't think he's Fred Warner. I think people's sentiment is that he could be Fred Warner, but I don't play could be games. I'm floor guy. I want to see what the film says. I don't project players in that way. Right. So I got a 2 on Styles, especially in this class where the top isn't as great. But he's 12th overall on my board.
Right.
So it makes sense. I got 11 first round grades or whatever. And on my non-quarterback counting board, he's right there. Yeah. So Brian, I saw some people kind of on you in the fan text or in the chat box and all this kind of stuff. Like, hey man, ain't nothing wrong with being different. I think Carson Schlesinger is a better linebacker than Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles just got measurables and athleticism that would kind of push him up the board a little bit, right? Ain't nothing wrong with being critical of a player that everybody loves. I just want to say that. Please.
No, I mean, to me, the thing that, and I learned this with Joey Bosa a long time ago. And it was one of those things when you start into this, and we're all trying to be accurate. You know, we're all trying to listen. I talked about don't window dress, and all these things I don't want you to do as an evaluator. Yeah. And so, you know, groupthink can get you in trouble. You know, and that's why, like on the stack, I always tell you, you know, trust your eyes, trust what you see. You know, usually your gut feeling's right. There are people in draft rooms today that are fighting for players, and others are fighting against that. And that's what you do. That's what makes these opportunities so unique, that you could go out and you could say, well, listen, I don't think this guy can do all this. Now he's really, really good. See, where it gets twisted is that people feel like that, oh, well, you hate the player. No, I don't hate the player. That's the furthest thing. I just have other players. If you gave me a chance to draft Bain or Bailey or Downs, or you give me an opportunity to draft Delane, I'm going to take that. But that's nothing against Sonny Styles. It's just where I stack him on my board. And I've always said this, as long as you do the work, I never have a problem. But I'm not into groupthink. I don't think our show is into groupthink. You know, we're working down through guys right now, 5th, 6th round guys, and trying to that's how deep we're working on this thing for you guys. You know, and hell, for every Carson Schlesinger that Voch has, there'll be somebody that we didn't get right. You know, so that's part of what we do here. And I think it's just, like I say, I don't want people out there to feel like that we don't like the player because he's the 12th best player on our board, or he's the 16th best player on our board. You know, he's likely to come in here and be a very productive player. I just have guys that I stacked better than him. If you give me a chance to draft Caleb Downs at safety, or you give me a chance to draft Bailey as an edge from Texas Tech, I'm taking that. I'm taking that opportunity right now. So I don't, like I say, I learned this with Joey Bosa. I didn't hate Joey Bosa, but when I'm comparing him to Greg Ellis and the type of career and the type of player I think he is with Greg Ellis, people are calling me a hater.
And Greg Ellis had a great career, but since Joey Bosa's being drafted top 5, they want you to be like, oh, he's Von Miller.
Yeah.
And Joey Bosa was.
See, I'm trying to be. You're
right about Joey Bosa, by the way.
Yeah.
You wasn't wrong about Joey.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be honest about my assessment of the player. It's not being a hater. I would have been if I would have come out and said Sonny Styles is a fourth round pick. Now you're like going, okay, give me a reason why. Why would you say that? I think we've been really consistent on the show, kind of talking about these players, their strengths, their weaknesses, and all that. But we're different, and I'm not being different to get clicks or mentions or any of that stuff. I've said this from the word go. I'm just trying to educate you. I'm trying to give you an idea of what I see. Yeah. You know, that's all I'm trying to do. I think that's the same thing Voch is trying to do. We're not here trying to be sensationalists and say, "Oh, wow, well, you know, we're so much better than." It's just an evaluation. That's all it is. So, you know, and I said this yesterday on 105.3, don't get this twisted. It's not that we don't like the player. It's, I know personally the way I look at it, I have other players that I would rather have. Damn, if Dallas drafts him, I'll tell you what I think about the guy, and I hope he works out. But it's not being a hater. It's just putting the players where you feel like you need to. And I'm not window dressing this thing. I am not going to window dress. That's the last damn thing I'm going to do.
Man, Broaddus, Devon Marshall from North Carolina State can play.
Yeah. Don't let the 4.64 fool you on the time speed.
Brad,
Yeah.
what he ran?
Yeah.
I ain't see it like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like watching Terrell play at Clemson. You know, you're going to have to make a determination out there. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to. When you watch this kid play from North Carolina State, when you watch Marshall play, you see a guy knocking passes down. You see a guy driving on the ball. You see a guy playing physical and press coverage.
I didn't know he was 5'11" until I looked it up that he was 5'11". He plays like somebody that's 6 foot or maybe 6'1".
Yeah.
I don't know what his arm length is, but it seems like he's got arm length enough to kind of, bat down pass and stuff like that. Bryan, super competitive as all get out. Whenever he's breaking up, he getting up, celebrating, getting in guys' face and stuff like that. I love that. I thought he saw routes really well, just as a man cover dude. Even if he's in zone and it's like matchy type stuff, where he's got to do man things anyway. I value man cover guys a little bit more. I think a lot of dudes can play zone, and some dudes end up playing zone because they can't do nothing else, or that's just what they coaches call. But I think if every coach had lockdown man cover corners, I think coaches just play cover one a lot more. You just can't do that because everybody don't have lockdown corners in that way. So I just value man coverage a little bit more. And Devon Marshall can play some damn man coverage.
Sure can.
He fights the ball all the way to the ground, to the sideline, very active player. I didn't think he had an issue coming up and tackling guys or anything like that. Speed probably, I didn't see when you watch like Malik Muhammad.
Bursty.
Malik Muhammad got a lot of burst, got a lot of speed on him, right?
Twitchy.
I don't necessarily see a bursty, speedy guy for Devon Marshall.
Sure.
I even saw guys kind of get away from him a little bit, but I thought he recovered well when they got away from him, Now, what happens when those dudes get a little faster in the league, then that's something that we need to have a conversation about, Bryan. But I thought he was always in the right spot relatively, even if guys got away from him. Something else I liked about him, too, and this could be a dislike thing, but I just – I see new styles of play all the time, is, some corners look back and find the football. Mm-hmm. He doesn't always look back and find the football, right? He got a bunch of pass deflections, though.
Yeah.
He's really good at reacting to the receiver's hands.
Yeah.
He's really good at that, right?
He reads the routes well.
He reads routes really well. Yeah. So I think he got like 12 batted down passes.
Led the nation in passes defense.
He got a ton of them, Bryan, but he doesn't have interceptions. So in my mind, what are coaches for, right? If you can coach him to be like, hey, man, kind of get your eyes around. Maybe you'll have some picks. But if he's a guy that don't get picks, but he bat balls down because he read the eyes of the receiver, the hands of the receiver, and he breaks all that up, dude, knock yourself out. I thought he was better than guys like Will Lee. I thought he was better than Takario Davis from Washington, Julian Neal. I like Demings a lot, but competition and stuff matters to me, so I got Davis ranked over those guys. I got a 4 on him, Bryan.
Yeah, the thing with Marshall and
that's how we know what grades we got on these people. Because I'd be like, oh, I got a 4 on him, Bryan. What you got on him?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I've got exactly.
That's how we know.
That's how we know.
So please go ahead.
No, and that's the whole thing. I listen. Scouts are probably going to bury this kid because he ran a 4.64. Mm-hmm. Probably going to bury him for that. I'm not going to be one of those guys, and I don't think Voch is one of those guys right now. This guy is a damn good football player. Yeah. He transferred from Villanova, and you're Voch is right. You don't see a bursty or twitchy, but what you see is a super smart player. Mm-hmm. What you see a guy that knows how to read routes. With a guy that kind of gets his eyes, plays really the eye discipline he plays with when he pedals, when he turns, when he drives on the football. These are all things that if you lack speed, you better be able to do something else. And he's able to do that. I mean, he's got a real feel. You can line him up like Voch is talking about. You can line him up at man, and he's just banging on the receiver the whole time down the field. But he's doing it in a way that he's not going to get called for penalties and get called for holdings and things like that. So he's going to do stuff when play well in space. He's going to tackle. He's going to drive on the ball. He just doesn't have great time speed. And a lot of teams will say, well, he doesn't run well enough. And like I said earlier, that's the whole thing with what we're seeing now with Terrell. Everybody's now Terrell from Clemson is like, oh, first round. Oh, he ran that. Mm-hmm. He ran that. Now we're looking at a completely different player. Film tells you the story about this guy. So you can't bury this guy. You really can't. I know you have him in the 4th. I have him behind Lee from Texas A&M, but I do have him above all those other guys you're talking about, like the two Washington kids, Demings, I have him above those guys. He very well could be, when we're working on the draft, who do you got left in the 4th round you really like? Yeah. We're going to start talking about tradesy guys, kind of like tradesy kinds of players. Sure. And then you're going to need to focus on Marshall and say, well, who's the best player? Yeah. Marshall's tape shows up as the best player. The 4th round grade, I think, on your behalf is very, very fair. I put him in the 5th myself, but I put him in the top of the 5th. He could be a 148 for me, 147, something like that. And but like I said, I got him like in a 150, top of the 5th round.
You know, it's interesting when you talk about traits guys, right? And I kind of look at traits guys in a way of, all right, we've run out of good football players. Here are the traits guys that we can probably like develop or whatever. I still think it's fascinating that we're still in the range of good football players.
We are.
Like, we're still finding good, like what I would consider traits guy, right? Isaiah World is a bona fide traits guy.
Right.
6'7", great feet, great length and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't know how to play football quite yet. So you take him, you teach him the O-line stuff, the O-line feet, the O-line hands, and maybe he could develop into be something else. So that's why I got he's in the extras. He might go 6'7" undrafted, I don't know. But he's a traits guy that you can develop, but he's not ready to play right now. Some of these players, Brian, I could see a world where some of these dudes playing for you. Like they getting snaps for you. Mm-hmm. Stribling, Marshall, I can see these guys playing right now in certain situations, of course. You got a 3 on Deshaun Stribling from Ole Miss.
I do.
I got a 5 on him, and that's okay.
Okay.
But break down the player for me, Brian.
Let me get to him here. There was something that really caught my eye about this player. And I think what it was, when you watch Ole Miss play, they run a lot of these the combination routes. Yeah. They'll do creative ways to get their guys open. Yeah. But what I really liked about this guy was when it was a combination route and they switched or exchanged, and then it forced him to run and then circle back inside. Mm-hmm. There was some precision to that. Like, this is guy 6'2", 207 pounds. This guy's got some route running ability to him for a really tall guy. And I really like that. And I like the way he came back for the ball. I like the way he extended his hands for the football. I like the way, if you watch the Georgia game, he finds a way like to catch a ball. And we've all admired Georgia's defense. And there's guys that got angles on him and he's gone. I mean, he takes the ball and accelerates. And I like that about this guy. I think, to me, that when you give me a guy that's got length, he'll extend for the ball, he's got some route running understanding for the position. I like these types of guys. I think that now, here's the questions about the kid.
Sure.
He's been to a couple different schools. Been to Washington State, been to Oklahoma State, and you're thinking, well, but he's had production at every place that he's been. Mm-hmm. It's not like it was like he was poor at Washington State, then poor at Oklahoma State, and all of a sudden it's 1 year at Ole Miss and he's a much better player. Mm-hmm. But I like this guy because I love the way he comes back for the ball. I love the way he runs routes. I love the way he finishes. At 6'2", 207, I think he's got the ideal frame and size. I think this is one of these guys that's going to get better as a player. I do have him in the 3rd round, and I do have him over guys like Brazil from Tennessee and Bell from Connecticut. That's kind of where I have him in the 3rd round. Maybe I had a great day, or was feeling good about watching this player, but I just saw something in his game and the way he was coming back and snatching that ball and then getting up the field.
I could be phony like that, to where I feel good and I put players much higher than they
Sure.
should be. It happens to me all the time. I still to this day think that Nate Bokature is probably going to be like a 6th, 7th round guy, but I feel good watching him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can understand that. You are right though. He's quarterback friendly is what I call it. Mm-hmm. And what you mean, in these passing combos is like if they run a post over the top and pull the safety, it's his job to go underneath.
Yeah.
And he won't just stay on his path. Like, he'll come back to the ball. He'll show his hands, show his numbers. He does things like that. I just didn't really see him do much to separate himself from the rest of the pack.
Okay.
On my list, you know what I'm saying? If he was in the 4s, like his competition is like Skylar Bell and Ted Hurst and those guys, right? And I saw those guys kind of separate themselves in a way, like they'll separate themselves as route runners or they'll separate themselves with speed and volume and things of that nature. And I thought Stribling, one thing Ole Miss did that made me mad, they kept putting him on these curls, man.
Yeah.
They kept putting him on these hooks and these curls. And he was clearly better as a move guy.
Right.
Crossers, I mentioned post for a reason, slants, and then he turns into a yak dude. I thought he was much better at doing those things. And he did kind of find his way into the deep ball and things of that way. He worked the middle of the field really well. Caught the ball fine, too. So we just got a lot of receivers that we just kind of got to stack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got a 5 on him. He might be a 4. I think this one of them situations where you might be a little more right than I am. I just didn't really he didn't inspire a bunch of separation from me. But, he could be a guy that does everything well, but he doesn't excel at one thing.
Yeah.
And there's room for those guys.
I kind of was thinking because Skylar Bell at Connecticut, they created stuff for him.
A lot for him, yeah.
And maybe they're creating a lot of stuff with the Ole Miss offense with this guy. I just, to me, like I say, I think you like Lance at North Dakota State better.
I do. I got to
you mentioned some other guys as well. I just maybe having a good day, but I liked the size. I liked the way that the combinations and how the you're absolutely right about the movement stuff. They needed to do a lot more with him on that. I think somebody will find a way to draft this kid and then put him on the move. Let him extend for balls. Let him if they want to work him on drags and stuff, the hooks, the curls, and all that. He's capable. I'd throw some more stuff to him down the field. I think he's capable of doing those things.
Fair enough. Me and Brian gonna take a break to tell you about our good friends at World Springs.
Yeah. How about this, Vachi? When you work out,
yes, sir.
You're a big workout guy. I had the opportunity to go over to World Springs and see what they have going there. It is amazing. The facility that they have with the springs, the hot, the cold tubs, the dips, all these kinds of things that you can go over there. I mean, especially after a workout. If you've just finished a workout and you need to recover the right way. And World Springs does that. Just head over to worldsprings.com, use the code CGM for 30% off your soak reservation. It's the perfect spot to relax your muscles, reset your body, and get ready for your next session. And we'll be giving away to one fan a post-draft recovery VIP getaway soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Vachi, I got to get you over there. You got to see this place.
It look nice up there.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, they've got cold dips, hot pools. They've got all these pools and stuff, the saunas, they got a spa. Everything about it is just immaculate. So make sure you check them out. Like, I'm serious about this one. I'm kind of a bougie guy in a way.
This look comfortable as hell.
It is. It's very comfortable. I went over there thinking like, okay, I'm going to be No, man. Yeah. You're going to love this place. I'm going to get you over there. World Springs. Check them out. Worldsprings.com. Make sure you use our code for that.
My legs hurt right now.
These people get you right.
Yeah.
These people get you right.
Okay.
Trust me on that.
I am very much so into recovery and stuff.
I noticed.
Because I'm old. I'm old.
Old?
I'm old, bro.
Yeah, okay.
I'm 34, but I do a lot of hard workouts. You know what I mean? So a lot of hit workouts and my body gets tired. So I've been looking for somewhere where I could kind of hot tub, cold tub, sauna, kind of rotate it out like that.
Your second address needs to be this place.
Cool. Shouts out to World Springs. Thank y'all very much. Brian, what you think about I'll start this one off.
Okay.
Michael Heldman, D lineman from Central Michigan.
Yeah.
I am so conflicted with this one.
This is a tough one.
I'm so conflicted with this one. Because if you line up Michael Heldman, I think Feldman, he does something different.
Yeah.
He does media. Michael Heldman, humongous, first of all.
Yeah.
Long arms.
Mm-hmm.
he's in a 4-point stance in his 2-point stance. He's so tall and long, right? Kind of got some good size to him. He was listed as 260. He looked 280.
Yeah,
he looked 280. And Bryan, he's strong as all get out. He's going to be a power rusher for you, right? I didn't see a ton of nuance to his game, but I did see a lot of strength, and dudes just couldn't corral him. You know, if you watch him, I love how Central Michigan played all the other Michigans.
Yeah. Oh no, they'll do that.
They play
do that.
Eastern, Southern, Northwestern, and Middle Michigan, and then they go and play regular Michigan, right?
Right, they play regular Michigan, yeah.
So Bryan, Central Michigan, Michael Heldman, he's whooping the hell out all the directional Michigan kids.
Right.
Being good in the run. I didn't think that he was a guy that identified run stuff well.
Sure.
But he was just so physically imposing versus those dudes, he just kind of beat up on them and just did what it is, right? But then we go watch Michigan.
Right.
And that's kind of where you see the competition. That's why competition is so important to me, Bryan. Competition is so important to me. What you look like versus these Michigan kids is totally different than what it looked like versus the Central Michigan kids. You know what I mean? The Western Michigan kid, whoever. I kind of thought that the lack of technique didn't work as well versus regular Michigan.
Yeah.
I thought just the ability to push dudes around didn't work versus regular Michigan. It worked everywhere else, but it didn't work versus regular Michigan. And you know, that mattered. That mattered a ton to me. But he got production, Bryan. He got sack production. He's really a rundown guy with 12 sacks for real. You know what I'm saying? But those sacks didn't necessarily come from Big Michigan. It came from directional Michigan, middle Michigan, all this other kind of stuff, Bryan. So I got a 5 on him, man. Fun player to watch. And he reminds me of the type of dude to where we look back on it and be like, man, he the best. He one of the best dudes in this whole damn draft.
Yeah.
Like he can come to the league and be a 19 sack guy.
Maxx Crosby.
Great versatile run. He one of them cats, Bryan, to where we don't see it now. The measurables don't add up.
Yeah.
He's slow off the football, Bryan.
Yeah.
It bothers me how slow he is off the football. Sure. But he pushes people around.
He does. I
got a 5 on him, Bryan, but I like him.
Yeah, the thing about it is what's interesting about this player is, and you're absolutely right, he is I'll tell you what makes him. It's his hand use. Mm-hmm. His hand use. The way, like, there are guys in this draft that we like far better that wish they had the hand use of this guy.
For sure.
You know? There are guys that I just go down the list. Just go down the list of the guys like Joseph and Overton and Lucas.
Yeah, Derek Moore from Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, it's like, you wish that they had the hand use that this guy has. And I think when you say that it's about the technique too. And you're right. I watched him against Michigan, watched him against Northwestern in a bowl game. He does a really nice job of coming off the ball and getting into the blocker. Mm-hmm. And I think he could break down these tackles that he plays against because of his hand use. But besides that, too, he's always on the move. He's always trying to finish. He's a good tackler when he gets in position. He's got strength. Like you say, some of these MAC opponents, he's just able to kind of throw them aside. I thought he played the run well. I know a couple of times Michigan tried to lean on him, and he was hanging in there. You know, it wasn't like he got blown out. And then you watch the Northwestern game, and the second play of the game, they catch him, and then they toss him. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, geez. Yeah. I didn't expect that. Well, here we are, though. But I think the majority of the snaps he plays against the run, he does hold up pretty well. But I mentioned there are snaps where he does get knocked around. That was the Northwestern film a little bit. But I think the overall balance and body control is pretty good for this guy. I think he plays on his feet. I think the technique overall is pretty good. The fact that he has a plan when he rushes, I think says a lot about this kid. Mm. So I, too, have him in the 5th round. Now, where I'm trying to figure out, I like him better than – now, I don't have him better than a Rager from Wisconsin. Right. But like James Newberry, Kamara, Sapp, I've kind of got him in the range with those guys.
Yeah. Looking at him on my D-end edge side, I do have him better than Sapp. I wonder if I should have him better than Curry, Caden Curry from Ohio State.
Curry's like 149 for me.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of thinking and I channeled my inner Voch on this one.
Sure.
Playing games matter against good competition.
Curry does that at Ohio State.
It's Ohio State, man, and it's it. I was thinking, where do you stack this guy? I couldn't put him over Rieger, and I like Rieger from Wisconsin. You know, but here we have like our three white try-hard guys.
Yeah.
But if you had to power rank, you know, you would put him in that group with the Curry, with Rieger. Yeah. Clearly, our guy Llewellyn from Iowa, I think, is in a different area code. But I thought about this. I'm saying, okay, Central Michigan. Nothing against, you know, because like one of the greatest running backs ever played in this league went to school, Jackson State. Yeah. One of the greatest wide receivers ever to play in this football went to Mississippi Valley. Yeah. There were reasons. Maybe this guy got missed over. Maybe he should have been at Michigan State. Maybe he should have been at somewhere else. Yeah. But he wasn't.
I got a high 4 on Rieger. Caden Curry is at the top of the 5 for me.
Yeah.
Hellman might be in the middle of the 5s.
Okay. Yeah. I think I got him over. I think now that I think about Curry, because Curry's at 149, the bottom of the 4th. Yeah. Curry might be a 5th round player with Rieger above him. That's how you see it.
I got Curry as like 151.
Yeah.
He's right up there. A couple guys may be ahead of him.
Right.
But I got Curry as a 151. And they both kind of got a bunch of sacks in the rundown guys.
Oh, yeah.
Work hard white guys. It's just that when you watch Curry's double-digit sacks, it's against Big Ten dudes.
Yeah.
And Heldman is
against Maxx guys, yeah.
Yep. That's where we at. And we got one more guy, VJ Payne. People have been kind of getting on to us because we haven't talked about them. Hey, man, we're going to eventually get to these people, man. But, I mean, I know more.
We're running out of days. We're running out of days. Yeah, we're running out of days.
But VJ Payne, Brian, I like VJ Payne a little bit.
Okay.
We got another size and length guy.
Yeah. Where did you like him? What position you playing him at?
I got him as a safety.
You got him as safety.
Strong safety.
Strong safety.
So
that's what I wanted to know.
Strong safety, and his secondary job is like tight end nickel guy.
There you go.
Tight end nickel guy, yeah.
Okay. You got him? Go ahead if you got him.
Man, look, size, length, probably a box safety. Plays some half field stuff.
Okay.
And, you know, just kind of me watching him play half field. If you're doing cover 2 stuff and you playing him in halves, then fine. But I thought he really excelled at strong. And, you know, with his size, he'll be able to come up and help you in the run game and stuff like that. The internet urged me to watch the Baylor game, you know what I'm saying? And you get a chance to watch him versus Trigg. And just kind of looking at that matchup and how that went, he is a really good man cover safety guy against big people.
I'm glad you said that. That was something in my notes for sure.
Against big people, and maybe versus bigger tight ends. I don't know how he'll run. I mean, a bigger wide receiver. I don't know how he'll run versus bigger wide receivers. That's still a mystery, right? If George Pickens lined up in the slot, I don't know if you want him just chasing him around. But as far as tight ends go, he could be a specialty type player to where I come up and I hit, versus the run. I wanted him to be a better form tackler. Versus the run.
Yeah.
But he would come up and assist in the run.
Right.
Shouts out to him for doing that. He kind of let some of these dudes block him a little bit.
He does.
he let dudes block him a little bit. And he was cool as a halves guy, but he's not going to be a free safety for me because I didn't think he was all that rangy.
No.
But as a strong safety, covering tight ends, dealing with whatever zone I'm around and all this kind of stuff. And I do think he's decent if he's on the right side of the field and he has to work his way to somebody on the right side of the field. Just don't give him a whole bunch of rangy assignments. And yeah, man, let him be active in the run game and shut down tight ends. Start with the Baylor film like I did.
Yeah.
I got a high five on him. I put him over Strowman.
Okay,
in which I feel like they're similar type guys.
Yeah.
But I thought that Payne had better coverage ability, so I put him over there. And, Lance Moore is a really good rangy safety out of Indiana. Lewis Moore, really good rangy safety out of Indiana. I just thought he was kind of boring watching him, but I do like the player. But I got VJ Payne at the top of my 5th round safety.
Okay, so you have Moore in the Indiana in the 5th then, right?
Yeah, so he'll be after my 4th round guys. And my 4th round guys are Jensen Smith, Fitzgerald, Ramsey, Jacoby Thomas from Miami.
You like Jacoby Thomas Thomas a lot. See, that's where I got stuck a little bit.
I like him a lot.
Okay.
And then I got Kilgore slightly over him. So Kilgore is at the end of the fours for me. Payne is at the top of the five. I wouldn't hate anybody for switching Kilgore and Payne. It just depends on what y'all like and what you ask him to do.
Yeah, I kept Moore from Indiana above this guy. I kept Fitzgerald above this guy. I'll say this about this player. You're right about eliminating the big tight end dude.
Yeah.
This guy's made a ton of starts, by the way.
Yeah.
And so you watch him play. I think for the position, we've seen some guys with rare height, arm length, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. This guy, I think there is a little bit of some smoothness to the way that he plays. There'll be times when I was watching the Arizona game, the Kansas game, and TCU. I didn't watch the Baylor game. Mm-hmm. But you watch him play and the ball, like they get down on the goal line and the ball goes away and now he's driving and it's either he makes the tackle or it's a touchdown. This kid would make the tackle, but he does throw his body around and he throws his body around. Sometimes he's wrapping up, sometimes he's not, but he's played free. He's played strong. He's played that nickel linebacker. You would like to think that like he is at his best. And I think you got him absolutely right. Like you say, when you watch him cover, Arizona had time that you watch him cover those bigger players. That's in his wheelhouse of where he needs to be. So I put him in the 5th round. I do like the size at 6'3", at 206. There's a little bit of that burst to his game, but like I said, I don't want to put him in a bunch of coverage situations, except if it was like a bigger player, somebody he can match up that way. I see the burst, the speed you could see to close and do things like that. Maybe he can develop as a more of a cover guy with other positions. Sure. But right now, I would leave him like playing down. There's times in the box where you'll see him kind of hesitate a little bit. Mm-hmm. Where I know Wisniewski from Texas Tech that we watched. Sure. It's like he sees it and he goes. He just runs like through the gap and then, tackles for loss and things like that. Payne, you see a little like, okay, I need to go, and then he'll go. Whereas like others you've seen, some of these strong safety guys that we've had, they just come flying downhill. Mm-hmm. We like to see him do that a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Still a good group, though.
Yep.
Still a good group. And, the more we talk about these guys, like I said the other day, the more I feel better about the picks that you have later in the draft. We just talking about Cowboys right now. The picks at 152, 177, 180. We got 3 picks in the 5th round. You know what I'm saying? And look, the Cowboys may have totally different dudes in mind in the 5th or whatever, but I like the names that should be around.
You know what? I've been watching the study that we've done. I've been really impressed with the safeties overall.
I hate safety. I hate safety.
And I know you do.
This is a fascinating group.
I know you do. But there have been years where we've done this, mm-hmm. and there's 5 names on the board.
That's it. Yeah.
And you're like, gosh, I hope I don't need one of these guys. But if you're out there, if you're one of these teams, if you're watching us and you're not a Dallas Cowboys fan, welcome, by the way. But if your team's looking for safeties, this thing will stretch. This thing will stretch into that 5th round. Don't lose hope. If your team didn't pick one in the 2nd or 3rd round, don't lose hope. This thing could go in the 4th, 5th round. You could get you one of these guys that could play a little bit of coverage, be physical, has some length to him, and plays with some physicality.
Do you think that safety has become interesting because some of these dudes are like part-time linebackers, part-time corners?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Teams, I think college teams are doing a better job of figuring out their personnel.
Yeah.
And then also, too, you have the transfer portal.
Sure.
So what now you have is like all of a sudden you could go and recruit one of these guys. You could go and say, okay, let's go. Wow, this guy looks like a really good player out there at USC. Mm-hmm. Let's try and recruit him. But I think coaches in college are doing a much better job of not just taking their players and saying that's what they are. Mm-hmm. They're trying to create, schemes of getting guys involved. The 4-4-2, the 4-4, the 4-2-5, that kind of. I mean, they're trying different ways of using these guys, of using their talented players, and the way that offenses have been evolving. You got to figure out how to match those.
Yeah.
And I think teams are taking linebackers that maybe are a little undersized and making them safeties. I think they're taking safeties that might be too big and trying to make them linebackers. There's some very creative ways that these coaches around the country are figuring out how to use their players.
Yeah. Fair enough, Mr. Wolf. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Conversation. Y'all be sure, tap in with our friends at World Springs. Be sure to tap in with us on our website, crimeGlobeMedia.com. Be sure that you tap in with the NFL is a Strange Lady shirt.
Yep.
You are running out of time with that one. Appreciate y'all for those that for those of you that have tapped in as well. How many days? 9 days.
9 days left on that.
After that, they gone bye-bye. Appreciate you guys, please.
And another thing, too, is we're running that thing that William Boykins created on the website, though. Your
Build your top 100.
Build your stack.
Go to NFL Draft Center.
Yeah.
Okay. Right there. And it'll scroll you down and you can find the build your board situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know how the technology works because I'm an idiot, but you just go in and type it out, type your big board out.
Post it, and it goes right in. William's done a great job, so I need to check on some of those. I was letting it build up a little bit. But, yeah, if you want to create your own top 100 stack, I'll take a look at it and see where you got it. And maybe on our Friday show or another show, maybe before the draft, we'll maybe look at a couple of them and see what some people got, kind of compare some things.
There you go.
Looking forward to it.
Appreciate y'all for tapping in, and everything else that you look for at CrimeGlobeMedia.com. He's Crime Globe Media on Twitter. I'm Voch Lombardi. We'll catch y'all next time. Crime.